I've been playing RPGs for decades by this point, and in doing so I've noticed some top-tier characters that slipped in under the radar for most people and have gone mostly forgotten. And I tell you, this is a real shame, but now I've got this amazing platform from which I can dispense facts from on high to help enlighten the masses, so why not give it a go? I am SuperDerek, and these are my top 5 underrated RPG characters.
Number 5.
Not all heroes are great, and not all great characters are heroes. Groose is a lovably dorky and mischievous lunk that you encounter in Skyward Sword. While he's definitely a man who cares for his looks and in fact may be slightly conceited at the beginning of the game, his character develops quite nicely over the course of the story, culminating in some of the most heartwarming redemption arcs I can recall. Groose's over-the-top personality and subtle charm allowed him to slip in under the radar for most, but there was something about this guy that just made him stand out to me as the perfect guy for the number 5 spot on this list.
Number 4.
Akagi was one of the standouts of the 108 stars in my recent playthrough of Suikoden 4 and Suikoden Tactics. He's an unlikely choice, which is exactly the point of an underrated characters video. Akagi is a ninja who grew up with Mizuki and a band of ninjas that were all but wiped out. His only loyalties in life are to Mizuki, Kate, and his employer Ramada, who is actually more like a father figure to Akagi. It's revealed that Akagi only fights with one chakram because when Mr. Ramada gave him 2, Akagi lost 1. He feels so bad about it that he told Ramada that it's easier for him to fight with just 1 because he'd rather fight disadvantaged than disappoint Ramada. It's that flawed character that makes him feel surprisingly human for an otherwise deadly assassin.
Number 3.
In my recent video talking about my time with Final Fantasy X, I spoke briefly about what makes Wakka so amazing as a character, but now I get to dive a little deeper into the man, the myth, the legend. Wakka is the first truly friendly face that Tidus encounters in Spira, and Riku doesn't count because Tidus was technically slave labor at the time, but Wakka approached Tidus with no expectations and offered only assistance. His love of Blitzball was the little taste of home that Tidus needed to start to feel comfortable again. I've always viewed Wakka as the quintessential older brother archetype, showing Tidus the ropes of Spira, helping him keep out of hot water and all. He even gave Tidus his brother's sword, and while Tidus was no replacement for Chappu, he and Tidus became fast friends. He can seem childish at times, sure, but gradually throughout the game, you come to realize what a sentimental guy Wakka is. He's the kind of guy that would walk right into the lion's den with you, if only because it was the right thing to do. Without Wakka, Final Fantasy X would have felt more like Final Fantasy 7.5 out of 10.
Number 2.
When something smells, it's usually the Butts. Larry Butts, to be exact. He's the best friend and first client of Phoenix Wright, and I can already hear you guys screaming over the internet, "Objection!" To which I will counter your objection with my own. Larry Butts is the hardest working lazy guy I've ever seen in my entire life. He's an artist, an actor, a seasoned chef, and an author. He's the definition of a Renaissance man, but life just has a way of dumping on poor old Larry. He's an emotionally sensitive guy who was the victim of no fewer than 9 breakups over the course of 3 years, yet he keeps on trucking. He just can't catch a break and seems to be the butts of every joke, which is exactly why he's underrated. The world needs optimists, the world needs idealists, and it needs naivete. Sure, when something stinks, maybe it is the Butts, but when the chips are down, he's the kind of guy that's gonna be there for Phoenix, and he's going to look good while he's at it. What more could you possibly ask for in a friend than that?
Number 1.
Finally, the creme de la creme, the most underrated character in all of RPG gaming, from one of the most underappreciated RPGs of all time, Lucas from Mother 3, the son of a rootin'-tootin' no-nonsense cowboy Flint and the brother of Klaus. His extreme kindness and love for his friends and family pit him as the pinnacle of the good guy archetypes. But it's not all rainbows and sunshine with Lucas, because paired with the kindness is a deep-seated hatred for his enemies and his overwhelming psionic strength. And of course, you can't deny that this kid is going places. I mean, just look at him. All it takes is a single glance to see that this kid has a bright future ahead of him, once he's done saving the world, that is. I can't quite place it. It's something subtle. It's just hard to pin down about this kid. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but there's just that something, you know?